Welcome to Cardboard Conversation with the Cardboard Guide. And today our guest is Josh from Sorcery Gamblers Club. So, hello, Josh, and welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. My name's Josh. I run the casual YouTube channel Sorcery Gamblers Club. The only reason this channel exists is because I live in Canada, ironically. I was interested in sorcery from the beginning with the Kickstarter, did my pledge, and as everyone knows, our region just happened to get the cards early, so I figured, why not throw a YouTube channel together, open my cards first, and show the world what they're looking forward to. Turned into a bit of an adventure. I ended up making a little trip down to Gen Con, had an opportunity to speak with Chase, and ever since I've been trying to keep the channel afloat with content from here and there, and it's been going well.
Cool.
Great. Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really interesting. I think it's a good point that, you Canadians, you got the cards so much in advance compared to the rest of us. So how did it go, recording your first YouTube videos? Was it like you had expected, or were there some hiccups along the way?
Oh my God, definitely some growing pains. Obviously, my first bit of content was box openings. I didn't even know how to do like the top-down camera view. I didn't have any equipment. I've only been recording literally with my personal cell phone, and it's been a journey. My first OBS recording where I had two screens at the same time, I accidentally left a grid overlay on it, which I explained at the beginning of the video, and it was just
that video.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, the video worked out; you could still watch it, but it was just awful at the start because I can't unbox a box opening, obviously, right? So
exactly.
That was definitely a big learning point. I got a new microphone, and in the last video I shared that I actually built. I don't want to call it a studio, but I built like a new office, which is down here with my new art in the background. And I've been learning lots. I really like this OBS platform that I've been using, and Tabletop Simulator and everything I've been getting into, more so gameplay. It's been good.
Yeah, and I think all the first videos, I mean, it's sort of like an initiation, hazing rituals. Your first couple of videos have to be utter crap. That's just the way it is. We've been like discussing deleting the first like 3 or 4 of our videos because they are absolutely horrible, but it's kind of fun, so we just leave them up because you have to get started, and unless you have like some sort of media training, you just have to get used to being in front of a camera. So it's pretty much it has to get bad before it gets good.
I'm going to spice things up and probably throw in some bad videos as I'm getting better, as just for fun, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I'll probably leave all my videos up. It's fine with me. My last video I put out there that I was excited to almost hit 100 subscribers, and the video was so boring I actually lost subscribers.
So we know the feeling.
Yeah. That is the worst feeling.
Yeah, but I got some new content I'm working on that hopefully will get me over that 100 subscriber line, and that'll be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. It has to. I'm pretty sure it'll happen anytime soon. So I noticed that you are saying that you just got into the content because you had boxes and Canada was first up. Did you ever think about creating content for anything else like previously, or was it really sorcery that sort of sparked that desire to make some content?
That's a good question. So back in the day when I grew up in high school and whatever, I was always into communications, playing around with Adobe Premiere, video editing, and production like that. So when the opportunity came along to make some content with a unique product that other regions don't have, put it together with my experience with editing video and whatnot, I figured it was a good combo just to like put something out. I haven't really thought about putting any other content out other than sorcery for now. There's a couple of games coming out like Grim Path in the future that I am excited about that I hope to make some content with. But as of right now, I'm pretty much exclusive to sorcery, and that's all I plan to do for now.
In terms of content, what kind of content do you see like doing in the future as well? Are you going to be mainly gameplay? Would you imagine doing like stuff about the art or the market? Do you have like any sort of like things you want to do and stuff that you're keeping away from?
I'm trying to find the balance between what are going to be explosive videos as far as YouTube goes and getting more members, but I also want to make content that I enjoy making. So I'm just trying to find out what the best balance between that is. I'm leaning towards gameplay right now because without the gameplay, people aren't going to play the game won't succeed, and it's a moot point making videos about how cool and flashy the cards are if the game's dead, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so I really want to make a push towards gameplay and get people to play the game. But in the same breath, I still want to do a little bit more about opening packs when beta comes out, maybe drafting, any kind of way I can bring that to YouTube, because it's kind of hard to bring a draft to YouTube.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out a way to do that. I did spend a little bit of money, just a little bit of money on a couple more packs of alpha on eBay. Just three. Like, I'm not gonna get it, divorced or anything. But I'm gonna make a quick video on that and see in the current state of the market how bad it could be ordering possibly search packs off eBay. So I think that'll be a little fun. But the box opening videos for me are kind of slowing down until beta gets here. But even with those, like, now that the big splash has happened with the Kickstarter arriving and people seeing the cards for the first time, I don't know. For me, the box opening videos are getting a little dry. There's a lot of content creators that are doing full box openings, start to finish. It's the same cards. I mean, yeah, it's exciting when someone pulls a big card like a core or a stone or whatever. But unless you're pulling a Braum live in your box opening, like, I don't know, it's kind of dry. When we get to a new set like Arthurian Legends or the mini dragon set from Ed Beard, I think that'll be cool when it's the first sight of the cards, of course, first reading of the text, first sighting. Great box opening content in my opinion. But as far as the alpha set and beta set goes, I don't know how many more I'm going to do, other than, like I said, my 3 alpha packs that are coming, just to see how much I get hosed by the monetary value.
Yeah. That sounds like a really good concept for a video, but I do agree. I feel like, we've seen so many box openings by now that I don't think that people have a lot of appetite for it anymore. Then you have to provide some sort of, alternative value in addition to the opening. If you talk about gameplay or you do some sort of like statistical material like Hayne does, then I think it works out. But just, pure box openings, I can't watch anymore. I think I've had my fill of it. I'm done with the box opening. So, but in terms of like future videos, is there anything that you would like to see, like the team behind Sorcery sort of like push for a certain kind of content or ask content creators to make content on something? Could you see any sort of like, what would your, favorite collaboration with the team be? What would be cool to do?
That is a very good question. Any kind of promos like Flesh and Blood was doing, like, I think that'd be really cool. And I'm not saying send stuff out that's super collectible or expensive to just the content creators, but like just little tidbits, little breadcrumbs that we can kind of share with the community, and it'll help us grow it, and it'll also create that viral marketing, if you will, to promote the game. And I think that'd be really healthy for us.
Yeah, definitely. And I would love to see some sort of like, I do. I appreciate the way that Fab does their spoiler season, because you get to like have like a ton of different content creators, each sort of spoiler card. And because Sorcery has pretty big sets, they could just like have everybody's spoiler card. And that would just be fun, because you could do like collaboration between channels and be like, okay, this is my card. Now go watch Josh unveil his card. That would be super cool.
Yeah, and then maybe after a card had been revealed, it can go on Heroes.io for the card gallery, and you could have a lot of, darked out cards, and then when they become revealed, they'll flip or
exactly. And if you have like the dark cards, you could have like each of them linking to the date and to the YouTube channel of the content creator. That would be super hype. I would personally love to watch that as well.
Yes, 100%. I think that would be that all sounds amazing. This is the first I've heard of that. I don't follow Fab too much, so I didn't realize what the spoiler season exactly looked like. But that sounds really cool. I like that idea personally.
Yeah, and also, I mean, it really gets like the whole community sort of like get together, and then they go on different channels and comment on each other's stuff, and it really builds community as well as spoiling the cards. So I think that's a really nice thing to do.
100%.
Oh, and speaking about content creators and community, we know that you're doing a little gameplay thing on your channel.
Oh, yes. Are you referring to a certain TTS match?
Yeah, I might be, but but in more general terms, because let's not talk about my defeat. It was an utter devastating defeat.
You got destroyed.
Yeah, I did. I've been crying since that day. But besides that, I think it was really fun, and I think it was a great idea. And I think I learned a thing or two about playing Sorcery So have you more games planned? Are we going to see some other content creators being beaten up by you on your channel?
See, I don't know about the beaten up part, but I'm hoping to have more games for sure. Originally, I was kind of thinking of doing a different format, maybe trying to showcase a 4-player or even Realm Shift that the podcast host Kevmo is kind of developing. But Zalem also made a very good point when I was chatting to him about that. Is I don't really want to flood too much content that is not official rules at this time, because right now we're really trying to onboard a new audience, new wave of players with beta coming around the corner. And I'm not sure if maybe introducing all these weird type of gameplays would be the best idea right now. I'm not saying I can't go ahead and record them now.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll be going live later at a later date. For now, I think I might just stick to the classic one-on-one play and hopefully a guest commentary each time as well, because I feel like that helps fill the void, and it also brings 3 players' perspectives on the gameplay, as well as much like the game we had, a little bit of help with how the game interacts and plays itself.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I think that's super. And I think especially right now it's important, because I feel like there are we're in this sort of like weird lull between alpha and beta round now. And I feel like a lot of people are just like kind of waiting to get into the game until they have some beta cards. But I mean, I think I've given up my resistance against the digital platform. I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, mission accomplished. I'm pretty impressed with TTS and the feeling of actually playing, because it doesn't do any of the different mechanics. It'll just, it can untap my cards, but it won't play the game. So I still have to do everything like I would with paper. And I think people should definitely get on it. How has your TTS experience been with Sorcery?
Honestly, it's been eye-opening. I bought Tabletop Simulator years ago on my Steam account, and I looked at it and I was just like, man, this looks like a pain in the butt. I don't want to invest my time trying to play this.
Yeah.
But like I've said before, I watched a couple videos and I took the time to learn how to use it, and it really does create this perfect sandbox environment where you get the paper feel, because there's no auto triggers besides untapping, like you said, and it really gives you a chance to do whatever you want. So TTS is great to get the cards in your hand early. Right now, like you said, there's a bit of a shift from the alpha product arriving, people collecting their sets, the ooh and ah of the foils. And right now, playing is the biggest thing. And I really think that TTS can play a big role in that. If you wait for your beta product to arrive before you play the game, that's perfectly fine. But I really think that if you take the plunge into TTS and play your games now, 1, you're going to figure out that the game's actually awesome and not just hype.
Yeah.
And 2, you'll know what you're doing and you'll start to figure out the mechanics. And when beta hits, you'll have the opportunity to draft strategically. You'll have a great time with your friends. You'll be ready to play. Heck, you'll even have your constructed decks ready that you're trying to collect the cards for. And it'll add another level of collecting for you, because you'll be like, I need this card, and here we go, right? So,
yeah, that's a really great point.
Yeah. So I feel like TTS plays a big role in bridging that gap, and I'm glad that the team officially embraced that and created the official workshop for it, and it's all a platform that is endorsed.
Definitely. Also because there are not that many players around the world at this point, so it could be difficult just going to your local LGS with your sorcery deck and let's play, and nobody to play with. So also having TTS opens up a much bigger, playing field for games all around the world. Yep. Especially if you can get the time zones to work.
and even with the lack of player pool at an LGS, I found this game brings a lot of attention. I've played at my LGS a few times, and a friend of mine who's mainly into Commander and Magic, he played one game and then turned around and immediately ordered the beta precons. And now every time I go to the shop, I'm like, every time I go to the shop, I'm like, what are we playing? And he's like, well, we're going to play Sorcery. And then, so we play another game, and then 1 or 2 people kind of huddle around the table and they're like, what's this? And then we're like, well, why don't you have a seat? We'll show you. And then, and now they want to play Sorcery. And it's kind of infectious. It's really fun and amazing to see people jump into the game when there's so many other card games that are taking most of the market share, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Flesh and Blood, One Piece even has taken what do you name it, right? So it's fun when you go into the LGS shop and roll out your 2-player mat, and people are like, this is interesting. Show me more about this. It's good.
Definitely. And I mean, that's the good thing about the huge size of the two-player mat. Otherwise, I think it's a little bit unhandy, but it definitely draws some attention to it. So are people like, this looks interesting. It looks like old magic, or what is like the initial response?
That's a very good point. It's definitely a little bit about the magic. They see the cards and they're like, hey, wow, that looks like old school magic. And obviously that's been a part of the design since day one. So they get, oh, that's cool. And then I'll obviously shoot in immediately and say, well, that's actually the original artist who did the cards for Magic in first edition. And they immediately grabs their attention. They like the old school feel. It brings back those old vibes and old feels that they used to have. Because don't get me wrong, I love Magic. Magic will always be my probably favorite TCG, but it's so flooded right now with all the sets and all that stuff, right? So it's really refreshing. If you want to take a break from your favorite game and play something that feels like the old way, you know what I mean? Feels like the old Magic, feels like the old way, less, traffic and less sets and a little more getting back to the basics. And with the new grid system and how the game was developed, it's a fresh take on it, combined with all of that, so it just makes it a fun experience.
Yeah, it totally does. It's also an added element of complexity, having the grid and having the sides. And I remember when I saw the sides and I saw the grid, I was thinking like, oh, that's going to be a hassle. I don't think I'm going to see that's going to be fun, but I really think it is. It's a really complex game, and placing those sides in itself can just make or break the game. So yeah, I think it's an added layer of great fun.
And the mana fixing that it provides as well, right? Like
Exactly.
I'm like, if you guys watch game nights with Josh Lee Kwai and Jimmy, I'm Jimmy. I never have the lands, or I have too many lands. So that was the other thing I really enjoyed about the way this game plays out, is you can choose your mana fixing, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is also because I think you get to display what your deck can actually do rather than just be like passive and having to wait and wait and wait until they finally kill you because you're either flooded or completely mana starved. So I really enjoy that you can actually play the game and have fun, and then you sort of win or lose on the game's turns, not just by lack of resources.
Yeah,
maybe we should just make a Magic format where you place your decks in two, and have your lands and your non-lands
So
in two
do a
piles,
little
and you
bit
can
of
just
sorcery.
take your card draw from whichever pile you want. That could be fun.
I feel like that would turn into like some sort of rapid fire where they make 3 mana curve decks and then you just go bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, it could be
Yeah, definitely
dangerous, but also kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that being fun as well. So you were talking about sort of like we have the alpha set, everybody's collecting, everybody's appreciating the art and the foils, which are granted absolutely amazing. So what did you do for like collecting? Are you collecting a full set? Are you going like nuts with the foil set, or where are you
Well, I mean, if I want to stay married, I'm not going for the foils. So the goal for so for me, it was definitely the non-foil set, and it's going really well. I think I'm down to about 11 cards.
Awesome.
Fortunate enough to pull the stone in one of my videos, so that was one of the hard ones. And then I got 3 out of the 4 cores, but I had to trade one to get the one I needed. So basically pulled all 4 cores. So it's just the Frazetta friends that I need to find, and a couple other ones. But it's going really well. I ended up trading for the official binder as well. So it's really beautiful.
And that is cool. That is a sweet binder. My only regret with beta is like they have to do a beta binder, because we're kind of thinking about doing a beta set as well. And it would be really awesome to have it in a beta binder. But 11 cards, that's pretty awesome. Did you like trade for the rest? Or did you like buy the cards, or?
Fortunately for me, with my box openings, I sold foils to buy more boxes, sold foils to buy more boxes.
That's awesome.
And just kind of chained that along while the market kind of figured itself out. So with all that bulk and all those cards I had, I pulled the majority of what I needed. And then some nice fellows on the Facebook Marketplace sold me a bunch of elites that I needed for like $2 a piece or something like that. And that's what brought me to my 11, and that's where I am now.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty close. You're pretty much done collecting. And what made you collect alpha? Did you used to collect sets before, or was this also like a first type of set collecting?
It was a first, but honestly, back to the original draw of the game was the art. That's what drew me in, and that's what made me want to collect every single card. It's the only game I've played where I can pull an ordinary card and go like, this art is so cool. I'm so glad I pulled this, and it's an ordinary. You know what I mean? Like you should be excited about the ordinary. That's a penny card, right? But this game is able to do that, and that's what made it exciting for me, as well as all the variants, like trying to collect master sets from samples and pre-samples, even with spellcraft and foils and artist proofs and all that stuff. So I got 2 of those master sets on the go as well, which has been really fun trying to hunt down.
Cool.
Yeah, I also think it's a really nice thing about sorcery that you need to use your ordinary cards and your elites and whatnot to actually build decks. So ordinary cards are not just fillers in booster packs. You actually need to use them and have fun with them, build around them. So I think that's great when new TCGs are actually incorporating that all cards are important, because I think it's such a waste sometimes that you open booster boxes and you're like, yeah, well, that can just go straight down to the big pile of trash box, and
the bulk.
It just stays there. Yeah, exactly, until you need to actually empty it because it's too full.
Yeah.
So having important game pieces in all rarity slots, that's great for new games. And I think it really should be a staple in all new games to come, that you shouldn't print cardboard that is not useful in any way for the game.
Mm-hmm.
No, especially thinking like a bit environmentally friendly. The idea of just having like half of the pack, you're just gonna chuck it and it gets destroyed. I mean, that's not really a good way to go. But I also think I really enjoyed that for the booster box openings, you really did have to keep an eye on the ordinary section. I think it was a stroke of genius, because it really did change the way that we open boxes and the way that we sort of enjoy the cards. And like you were saying, even if it's an ordinary, you might have like an awesome art on it and you really appreciate pulling it. So that's really nice.
Oh, and like Eric played us like a fiddle with the curios, though, right? Like when
Completely.
you're looking through the ordinaries, one, for the art and those cool cards that you want to see from the previews, but now that we know a little bit more about the curios and where they are found in the booster pack, you're not going through those fast anymore. Like you're taking the time, and it's forcing you to appreciate the art and the cards and reading them and everything like that, which is pretty ingenious, to be honest. It was great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and also when we all felt safe, that if you find something that's not ordinary in the ordinary slot, it might be a curio. And then came the trolls, and suddenly we all had to look all the ordinary cards through one more time to see if we had a curio in the ordinary slot. That was just an ordinary card.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, but I have to say, I was a little disappointed. I kind of hoped that the Caves Trolls, that they wouldn't have a curio edition, because that would have been the ultimate trolling, that the 2 other ones did have a curio, but the Cave Trolls didn't. Then everybody would be like looking in vain through all of the Cave Trolls. I can see Eric just like sitting back and having a good laugh about it.
Yeah, and I can also see all the big players that opened 442 million boxes, and they're just sitting there like, not again.
Yeah. We have like the whole curio count on our Discord, and I can just see that all the newest curios, there are not a lot of them registered, because people are just like, damn, I can't be looking through all that bulk again. I'm not going to do it. And I've heard like a couple of the really big box openers said that I'm not, going through until I'm like absolutely sure that they found all the curios. Then I'll look all my bulk.
Yeah. Or even if they're like a reseller or a merchant or whatever, they can, every time they pull an order for a troll of some sort, double check it when they pack the order or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be a lot easier than having to check through, I don't know, a gazillion cards, because I mean, people who opened like above 150 cards, that's a lot of bulk to go through. That's absolutely wild.
Yeah, I opened 6 boxes, and I'm still struggling to get my cards organized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's hope that there's going to be trolls in every set from here on and until the end.
Yeah.
So every time there's a sorcery release, it comes back, we need to look at the trolls.
Yeah, that would be kind of like a good ongoing joke. I think that would be cool. So now you're sort of like, we talked through the alpha and the collecting, and with beta, you're doing a lot of gameplay and you're thinking about drafting.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you looking forward to next? What's going to be like the next big thing that you want to do with the content or just with the game in terms of like Arthurian Legends or it be the mini dragon set?
To be honest, I'm not too sure. It's a good question. I'm a little worried about the one set per year thing that's currently planned.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to keep things fresh on the channel, much like it'll be kind of hard to keep things fresh once a meta forms with the current cards. So honestly, I'm not too sure. It's something that's going to develop as I keep going with the channel, and we'll see where it takes us. But right now, honestly, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I get that. I'm not sure that the one thing a year they're going to stick to it. I think eventually with all the feedback and especially the LGS is saying that it's going to be a problem to keep the community interested and hanging around. I think we will see a shift towards at least like a smaller set and a big set, but maybe like every half year we get something new to play with and make content on as well.
Yeah, for sure. Other than making more gameplay content, if like I can do more content creator battles or something like that, like even right now, I could probably schedule games with every content creator that's focused mainly on sorcery, not every content creator of TCGs. And that would only fill like a couple months worth of content, maybe, and then we'd be running out again, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also because, I mean, do you think it's going to be a problem that they're not considering organized play right now? Or do you think that people and the community are just going to work it out? I think Simon keeps coming back to the fact that it is a casual game, but we have the Cardi IO announcement that they're going to have some sort of like, registered play possibility at least for the LGSs. So it does seem like they're willing to sort of like make sure that they can play, some sort of like organized play and the LGSs can put up events and stuff like that. So it does seem like they're trying to do stuff around the gameplay, in-store gameplay, I should say.
Now I see what you mean, like more of the connection with the LGSs and keeping like an official playlist and official winners and stuff like that with partners, if you will, with the content creator. I think with the champion promo cards and the ideas they have started behind that, I'm hoping that they have something planned. Clearly, they have something they want to reward people with for playing in the LGSs and staying in store and in person and casual for that matter. So I feel like they do have something on the way, but we'll have to see what it is.
Yeah, and do I remember correctly, or do you have to collect like another Bone Rabble thing? Is one of the promos? Isn't that like a Bone Rabble?
Yeah, so my Bone Rabble journey, I got the sample card, I got the foil, I got the original alpha. I love the gentleman named Vincent on Discord was able to sell me the Spellcraft variant, which is pre-sample, pre-alpha, pre-sample, which is crazy cool. So I'm like, sweet, I got my Bone Rabble Master Collection. And then they announced the foil and non-foil box promo for it's the in-store
for the game
players kit or something or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, now I need more Rabbles. And the fun thing about the Rabble too, though, is it's Jeff Menge's art, and I got to meet him at Gen Con too. So I had a really good experience collecting that master set because I not only met the artist, but I got to show him my collection, and he thought it was the coolest thing. And he likes drawing skeletons, apparently.
Oh, that's really cool, and that's pretty epic. So, did you get some artwork?
Did you get a signing?
Yeah,
I did get a signing. I got signed. I got a couple signed from Drew Tucker and a couple signed from Jeff. I know the promos for beta are the Jesse Pilkus art, I believe. I could be wrong, but it's not Jeff anymore. Either way, they're Bone Rabbles. I still need them. But yeah, I got a couple signed at Gen Con. It was really cool. And if anyone's ever talked to these artists or never met these artists or never been in a situation to reach out to an artist on social media or anything like that, I encourage you to do so. The vast majority of them are super, super friendly, super down to earth, and super responsive. And they're excited that you're excited to talk to them about their cards and their art. So that's just another little call out while we're talking about the artists.
Nice. That's a great experience. Have you been in contact? Because now I'm watching the art behind you. You must have been in contact with Gadu Duazo and Elvira Halikowska as well.
Good eye. I can move a little bit.
Oh, I think I have there's like a glare on it, so I can't leave. Oh, is that Twist of Fate?
It is Twist of Fate.
Oh,
so
awesome.
that was the hardest, one of the harder ones to get because Santiago is only able to reach via email, and he responds 100%, but it usually takes a couple days between responses. And I tried to work out a deal for an AP, but it just wasn't in my price range. So I'm like, okay, a signed print sounds good to me.
Yeah,
So we worked out a price, worked out a deal, and that bad boy was in the mail for a long time. I thought it got lost. It finally showed up. So it is signed, and it's really cool. I really enjoy it. Gadu's print behind me, besides the shipping cost, because it came from the Philippines, the price I paid for that print was only $40. And as you can see, it's like,
it's amazing. It's huge.
Massive signed poster size, and it came with a personal letter from Gadu thanking me for my purchase as well. So he's a wonderful gentleman if you haven't talked to him as well.
Absolutely. We have a connection.
Yeah.
We've been talking on Instagram, and he is like the nicest guy. Really nice, really cool.
100%. And then, of course, over this way, we got the Etsy print that was on Elvira's shop.
Yeah.
It was on Etsy, right? Yeah, on Etsy.
It was.
And there's only 30 of those. So obviously I grabbed the credit card and was like, take my money.
But that artwork is amazing.
Really happy with those. I also grabbed a print from Aranja Arts, Rafaela Lurch, who did the desert art. But that one's not in the sorcery set. I just grabbed the print just to kind of support, which is on a different wall, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
Definitely got the whole sorcery art cave set up there. It's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. I remember Sophie being in the car, and we were driving the kids to school, I think, and dropping her off at the station. And she was like, no time. I need to do this. I was like, what are you doing? I'm trying to get, look, there's a column down below. So, and that was the Alira Palikowska. And there was this Corinthian column, hand-drawn down in the corner.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're like, she's an archaeologist. I need to have this. I want to have this.
Yeah, I had seen it pretty early because I believe she's in Europe as well. So we're in the same time zone. So I caught it pretty early, and I was like, oh my God, they had the little hand-drawn sketches to the right side of the art. That is just amazing. And it's signed. And when I saw the Corinthian column, I was like, okay, please, can I get it? And luckily she had it. It was still left and available.
Awesome.
So that was very nice.
Yeah. It was also a nice little feature that all the little hand-painted art down in the corner had something to do with the original art. You had the boat and the column and
and the crow, and exactly. It was a very nice little nod to the original art. It was very cool.
And I think it's a great way to support the artist if you don't have deep pockets too, right? I know people are auctioning APs and original arts and all this stuff that's going well into the thousands of dollars. And with my little collection behind me of mismatched frames that I got from Walmart, it doesn't matter to me. It looks cool. It's the prints I like, and I bought them directly from the artists themselves. So I feel like I did my part to support them, even though I'm not spending thousands of dollars on them, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, but this is within my budget, right? So I thought that was great.
Exactly. And I think it's great to have an option to actually also talk directly to the artist, because I was in contact with Elvira and sort of like, can I please have the one with the Corinthian column? And just, being able to also let her know that I really appreciated all the art that she did. And also with Gadu, having some interaction with him and just letting him know that he's doing some really wicked and cool stuff. So I really appreciate that personal touch with the artist.
Do you think that the artist proof cards are going to come down in value when the beta comes? Because right now, as you said, they are really expensive, and you need to have insanely deep pockets to get one of these little handcrafted art pieces. But we know that beta is coming, and we know that more artist proof cards are going to be in circulation. So do you expect them to come down in price, or do you think they're just going to be still so expensive?
Honestly, I think they're going to come down in price. I think a lot of the shock and awe and some of the immediate impulse buyers, if you will, tried to gobble them up. I know when Aranja put up hers accidentally, well, I don't want to say accidentally, but unknowingly at $40 a piece, there was people trying to buy all 25 copies and stuff like that, right? So I think that once those fellas are kind of happy with what they have, it'll come down to more realistic buyers that aren't there just to try and flip it or anything like that. And that's more of a smaller market, in my opinion. So I think once it gets to that, they're going to start coming down. Like case in point, Drew Tucker. I bought the Entangled Terrain AP from him. That's the The only one I actually spent the full $1 on for the acrylic, and he still sells his like revised Magic proofs on his website that aren't sold out. So I guess that's my basis behind that opinion a little bit. But I think they'll come down just a little bit now that it's not a shock and get it now or it's too late type situation.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're absolutely right. Also, because if you look at the artist proofs in Magic, for instance, and of course you need to pay, for the time that the artist spent at making this little piece of art, but you also see different price ranges from pencil art to pen art to painting. Yeah. Painting.
Oils.
And these prices are way lower than anything you have seen in Sorcery. So I'm also hoping that it's going to come down a bit, because I think that they are little, nuggets of gold, and I think they should be made more available to more players, because they are just nice little appreciations of what the artists do out there.
Yeah, and I also think that I like the fact that at least in Magic, but also actually with Drew and Jeff, you can have a conversation with them about what you kind of want. If your budget allows for a pencil drawing, that's what you get. And then you can sort of decide to go up from there, whatever fits your available funds at the moment. And I like that idea, because although I think there's been some outstanding and very beautiful artist proof cards, not everybody can afford the fully, acrylic paintings. So I would love to see some more variation, perhaps, in what they offer.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, the only two APs, or I guess I have Orange's APs, but the only two that I didn't impulsively buy from a website was Drew's and then Jeff's Bone Rabble. And with Jeff's Bone Rabble, I told him what I was doing with the card and why I wanted it, and he actually gave me a ridiculously low price. I think he came in at about $80 for my Bone Rabble AP.
Wow.
That's
what
amazing.
A nice gesture.
Yeah. I mean, I paid a little extra to add pencil sketch to it, but all said and done, it was less than $130, I think. So that was for me, I guess, a good price on an AP for sure.
Definitely. And also, that card is always going to be special for you. So definitely worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Arthurian Legends, what do you want to see? What do we really want to see from the game? Are there any characters or anything that you really are excited about or look forward to?
I mean, I'm not double school teachers here like you two folks. So I'm not too up to speed on the lore of Arthurian Legends, if you will. So I can't speak too much to the background of that set too much. I mean, it sounds cool, and I've watched a couple of videos a little bit about it. But if I'm going to comment on that set, I guess I'm just excited for some new cards, new interactions, maybe a new meta forming, some new strategies, if you will, with how to play the game. And I guess I'm more excited for what it can do to evolve the game and its gameplay itself, with the added bonus of the fun new art we get to experience with it.
Yeah. Oh, good answer. I'm definitely, approaching mostly from the lore and mythology side, but I'm also looking forward to seeing how they might extend the gameplay, if they're going to bring any new mechanics. And also, I'm interested in seeing are they going to give us some new avatars, and will the avatars be like the knights, or will they be who will they be? Because they kind of wanted to do this whole hooded avatar thing. So I'm not really imagining that they're going to use the characters that we know, because that would feel off with the hooded, avatar thing. So maybe they're going to be more the mage and, different archetypes. But that would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do. Just hope that water's getting a little bit of a buff. That would be nice. I could see the Lady of the Lake just owning people. That'll be cool.
That would be the most awesome ever water avatar, the Lady of the Lake. Come on, that's listen up, Eric and team. That would be really cool to see.
Definitely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this set has in store for us. I think it's going to be really complex. Also, having a new set come out already, I think there's a lot of possibility in Sorcery, and as we mentioned earlier, that playing those sites, it becomes really strategic. So having new cards, new sites, new strategies, maybe even new card types, that's a whole new ballpark.
Do we know when the release date is for that? I've drawn a blank. No. Okay.
No, I think all that we heard was that when we were told that beta was delayed until November 10th, Simon did make like a comment, and I think it was actually in the Discord. And he said that they're accelerating the set. What accelerating precisely means, I mean, I don't know, but I hope it means that we're getting to see it in like the first half of 2024, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So, Josh, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much for your time. It was a lot of fun, and we hope to maybe speak to you again. It would be fun to do some more gameplay content or just have
Definitely.
another chat.
Yeah.
No, it sounds great. This is my first time being interviewed on YouTube, so thank you for having me. And maybe, who knows, I'll have another trip to Denmark so we can do it in person again.
Yeah, that
definitely.
would be awesome.
We get to play some actual paper games. That would be awesome. Or maybe
For
we
sure.
should. It's our turn. We'll swing by Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gen Con 2024, baby.
Yeah,
Wow.
definitely.
Yeah, that
that would
is
be
the dream.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for speaking to us, Josh. It was really cozy, and yeah, we're going to do some gameplay at some point again.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
great.
viewers, please do go out and check our description. Down below, you'll find the link to Josh's site and watch all his cool videos. And we really hope that you'll give this video a like because it really helps out the channel. So thank you and see you in the next video.
Take care.